Here are the horoscopes for the week of the 17th to the 23rd of December 2018. This week we begin to come out of the recent Mercury retrograde shadow, so it's worth having a look back to November and to see the journey that we've been on regarding our processing mind and our search for real truth. Digging up false beliefs, seeing things with a new perspective, and clearing out mental programming so that we can be lighter and brighter and have more clarity and more inspiration in our lives. As I've mentioned in previous weeks, we're coming out of a very long 3-year Scorpio digging deep phase. So with this perspective, it's about becoming lighter, it's about releasing density, releasing blocks, releasing limitations, and not taking on too much as well, because I do think the modern world has everybody taking too much responsibility, being too busy, taking things and themselves too seriously. And one way to declutter is to let go of some of that attachment. So we leave the Mercury retrograde shadow on the 25th, but until then this is the final week as we head towards the solstice, where we can really make those final amends and attend to detail. This leads to a sense of peace and flow. And it's not just mental as well, because we had a Venus retrograde. Venus was taking us into our heart space to see what emotions were clogging and clouding us and dragging us down, and to reassess our relationships. But of course the main relationship we have is with ourself, our higher self or deeper self, and directly to source, ourself as a divine spark. So a retrospective autumn, closing a 3-year period of introspection. It's very much declutter now, let go of, release, do whatever you can. Breathing, yoga, dance work, meditation, bring them up, hold them, dissolve them. Whatever techniques you have, this is the perfect week to do that. Creating space. Sagittarius loves space. It's the sign where the sun is born and has the most space to expand into. So we're creating that space so that our true tone, our true soul essence, our true vibration has room to amplify. And if you think about it, we're coming out of decades, if not millennia, of social programming, so it's not easy to do, but we have had a 3-year run-up to be able to do the most of it. So this is a week of final attention to detail, letting go, realising, changing perspective, and connecting with our true vibration. On Monday we're called to listen to that little yet strong voice within, the voice of the heart, the voice of intuition, the voice of your soul, and to follow its directions. Because one of the benefits of not having lots of chatter in our mind and lots of programmed emotions, conditions in our heart, is that we've actually got the space to listen into the cells of our body, the heart and soul of our inner knowing. So Monday is very quiet, even though it's quite a busy time of year, just listening into that inner voice and following its directions. Tuesday is interesting as numerologically this is 18-12-18. So something numerological to ponder there. And I like to correspond everything, so this corresponds to the moon, hangman, moon in tarot. So if you're a tarot person, maybe you get those cards out, have a look at what they're calling you to explore. The feeling I get from this is that we began the year with a full moon in Cancer, and we end the year with a full moon in Cancer on the 22nd. So these two moons are lighting up each end of the year. It's been a very reflective year. We've gone deep into the subconscious, like I say, finishing up all of that Scorpio journey. We've looked at anything repressed. We've brought things up to light. And we've cleared many psychologies, behaviours and programs along the way. So as we build towards the second full moon in Cancer, and this is going to be at the 0 degree point, so this is literally right at the beginning of the sign of Cancer, we can take a look back and see what journey of discovery we've been on, what was lurking, what was brought to light, what's been cleansed, what have we learnt, and how do we feel differently as a result. So Jupiter took us through Scorpio to really do that cleansing, clearing work, step into our majesty and our power, make the room to expand into. And that was for the whole year. And Mercury retrograde has challenged us to be more flexible, especially with our opinions, and to broaden our perspective, to perceive the mind chatter, the stream of consciousness, to observe it and to see whether it's actually serving us, to write down any repeat thoughts, to turn the conscious sword of awareness, to see whether those are actually true or not, to replace them with deeper truth and empowerment. And then Uranus has stepped into Taurus but goes back into Aries. We're on the final year of Uranus dipping in and out of Aries, which has all been to do about independent thought, realising your unique vibration, not being the same as everyone else, taking responsibility for what you're transmitting and what you're contributing, and raising your consciousness, rewiring your brain, breaking the mould and holding the vision. So for me, with the tarot aspect here, Moon, Hanged Man Moon, we've been on this long journey, we've looked at things from a different angle, we've received the ancient wisdom and truth of the Hanged Man, lit by the light of those 2 Cancer full moons. And on Tuesday I would say just reflect on the voyage of discovery that has been your 2018. Before we can amplify, we need to actually value our inner gold, our true essence, our tone. So if you still don't know what this is, by Wednesday, as Sagittarius is such a sociable, generous and expansive energy, maybe ask a friend for help. What is your inner gold? What do you value? What do you transmit? What have you got to give? Because this is not going to be a year going forwards where you can hide your light. We need to connect and amplify and become our vibration of consciousness. So maybe get together with a good friend on Wednesday. We're taught not to blow our own trumpet and not to big ourselves up, but this is ridiculous. There's only one you. So get together with a friend on Wednesday and just see where you feel your inner gold. Get to the middle of it. Get to the centre of your transmission and then polish that up, ready to amplify. Thursday's a day to finish up the year because we're heading towards the winter solstice, and this is the rebirth of the sun. So we need to attend to those final details, clear the decks, get the message as we're coming out of the Mercury retrograde, and Venus is also direct, the mind and the heart. Do those final clearings, really get the message of it, reset to a higher level. On Friday, the sun moves into Capricorn. This is the beginning of the winter solstice. And if you follow the real calendar, you'll know that this is a 3-day event. So for 3 days, the sun now will rise and set at the same minimum arc across the sky. And then on the 24th, we begin to see that arc expand and the daylight hours increase. So we head into the winter solstice with the sun moving into Capricorn on Friday. And on the same day, Mercury meets with Jupiter. So this completes a cycle and begins a new one at a higher vibration. As I've just said, Mercury has been clearing the mind, clearing erroneous thoughts and beliefs, and Jupiter's been aligning us with our majesty. So this is a time to rise up and expand our consciousness. That's the energy for Friday and through the following 3 days. It doesn't stop there though, because we have this second full moon at 0 degrees Cancer on Saturday the 22nd. For anyone that studies astrology a little bit, this falls in the 12th house. So the 12th house is where we come from, where we go to in sleep, trance, and where we go to when we pass. It's the other realms, the 95% world of Pisces, as our physical senses only pick up 5% of the light and sound waves. We're living in a 5% world, and the 12th house, or Pisces, is the other 95% vibrational realm, the all, where everything exists, eternity, and our eternal soul flow, also our divine connection. So for the second full moon in Cancer, the divine feminine, to fall in the house of spiritual connection, divinity and eternity, the winter solstice, as the sun is being reborn, quite simply this is a nativity. And it's so simple and perfect that I'm not going to say any more about that, but feel into that. The sun being reborn under the full moon at 0 degrees Cancer in the 12th house. That's something that you can journey into and rebirth yourself as well. As we head into next week, we do leave the Mercury retrograde shadow, so this is the week for those final clearings, making the space, connecting with your true inner gold, and being able to amplify that authentically. So 2019 is looking like a very strong year for independence, authenticity, and majesty, as we have done the hard work now and we're stepping up to a new level of consciousness. I am available over the holidays for readings, and all of my products and courses and coaching and readings are available in gift voucher form as well. So if you'd like to give somebody a soulful gift that will last way beyond Christmas, then please do contact me. For January, I have a talk, What's in the Stars for 2019, and I'm starting to put the venues up on my events page. But there will be a talk on the 9th of January at Evolve Yoga Centre in Kensington, and the 11th of January at the Light Centre in Monument. So those are the two main London venues. If you'd like to come along and have a look at what's coming up, the power dates, how you can harness the energy and what it means for each sign as well. We go on a month by month trajectory and then we sum it up through the signs. So it's a very lively, intuitive and inclusive talk there with a Q&A at the end. But I do recommend that you book onto that in January so that you can get a steer for the year ahead. So please look at my website, www.astrozo.com, where my online shop and my events page will give you all of that information. Or contact me, zoehines7@gmail.com, or connect with me on social media at Astrozo on Facebook, at zoehines7 on Instagram for daily insights. So those are the horoscopes for this week, and I'll see you next week.